On today's show, we talk with Addi and Brian St. John and Flintsy the Clown, dance with our star Gabi Guimaraes, and hear original poetry from Jen Pipp, Mark Walsh, and three-time U.S. Poet Laureate Robert Pinsky.
And if you're looking to learn or just have some fun, we'll also be talking about classes, programs, and upcoming things to do in Plymouth, Pembroke, Kingston, and Duxbury.
We're glad you're here. Let's get started. Brian and Addi St. John are a father-daughter duo from Duxbury with a marathon mission to run for a cause in the 129th Boston Marathon together. We invited them to our studio to learn more.
Ever since I was little, my dad and I always kind of mentioned, like, one day we want to run the Boston Marathon together. But it was kind of always a distant idea. That is until the past 2 years. My best friend, Ava, she's run the marathon, so I've gotten to go watch her run it, and it's just so inspiring. And finally, this time last year, I was talking with my dad, and I was like, you know what? I feel like this is the year. So we started training. We completed a half marathon last May, which made us feel like, you know what, with the right training, we can get this done.
She went to the race last year, and seeing some of her friends do it and seeing other people do it, I think it just put a spark into her to say, hey, look, I want to contribute to this. And her coming to me and having the conversation of, Dad, like, hey, I want to do this, but it'd be great if I had a partner to do it with. And obviously, there's no way you're going to turn down your daughter when she asks you something like that. And so it was great. It was a great thing to do. And obviously, all the other pieces to it were that much more meaningful. But to have her want to do it with me is very meaningful as a father.
He was fully in. He was like, you know what? Yeah, we're gonna do it together. And it was never a question of like, you know what, maybe you should just do it alone, I'll watch. My dad was fully like, I'm in this with you, and we're gonna do this together, and it's gonna be awesome. I'm not a runner. My dad is not a runner. I grew up playing sports, a lot of soccer and basketball. Sports has always been a really big bonding thing for my family. But running was never really something we did. I've had 4 knee surgeries. My dad has had 2. So the odds are a little against us when it comes to being able to tackle 26 miles.
We're not, built to be runners. We've always been somewhat athletic, but we've never been built to do that. So that part of it has been demanding of like going to some physical therapy, working through some injuries, all that side of it.
We have continued to stay dedicated. My dad has been a huge source of support. My friends, my mom, my brothers, everyone is like all in on this and showing up for me in so many ways, and like they're my source of inspiration. My family has always valued mental health, and throughout the past few years, we've gone through some things where it is highlighted for us how important mental health is and how complex it is and how important it is to have a support system. When I was reading the Home's website and I saw specifically, they offer a multitude of services for kids in high need situations, but they also highlight that mental health aspect. And it is so important to know that you have people in your corner fighting for you. And the fact that the Home steps in for kids and their families when no one else does, that's what hit home for us. That changes a person's entire life, knowing you have support.
Knowing when somebody needs help is one thing. Trying to find that help and to get somebody to do that is very challenging. Like, there's not enough great therapists and psychiatrists to go around in the world. It's really hard to find that. So to have an organization like the Home that can really step up and step in and provide those resources, especially to children, like that's huge. And that's something worth running for. And then with Addi, it's just, it's amazing because, somebody at that young age that has the wherewithal to say, hey, she wants to do this for a great cause, which makes me feel, as a father, fantastic. But secondly, for her to want to, go grind through it, knowing all the challenges she's had with her knees. I mean, she literally had 4 knee surgeries. She's physically, not the person you would ever pick. And I think it's funny because a lot of people, when they hear that she's running the marathon, I think they're like, are you serious? Like, doesn't she, have these horrible knees? And for her to kind of grind through that, it's just super proud.
To think that we're gonna cross that finish line together, probably the most iconic finish line in the world, to do that together and to do it for such an amazing cause. I mean, that is just gonna be such a surreal moment. And I cannot wait to cross the finish line with my dad. And I can't wait to share that moment with all the people who have also supported us through this entire journey.
I mean, it's just such an emotional race coming from being in Boston. Last year, my wife and I were at the finish line, and it's great to see all the runners cross that finish line. But what really makes you appreciate it is when you're there and it's 5-6 hours deep into the race and you see people running across that aren't runners, but they're running for great organizations, they're running for personal reasons, family reasons, and that's the emotional side of it. So to be part of something that's that emotional was really something that I always wanted to do. So, and to be a part of that would be fantastic.
Watching strangers run makes you emotional. It's just that type of race where there is such high emotional value to that race, and it's a hard course. It is a hard run, and just seeing people push through it is so inspiring. I think running is such a unique sport, and the fact that a lot of the time you're doing the work solely by yourself, and I think that's really cool. No one's watching, there's no one making you go on a run, going this distance, but I think staying committed to a training plan and to running, it says a lot about yourself and your dedication, and like, wow, I can do hard things, and I want to keep that in my life going forward.
At one point, it was daunting to run 3 or 4 miles, and you're like, all right, then all of a sudden, 3 weeks later, you're running 5 or 6 miles. You know what I mean? At one time, and then all of a sudden you start ramping up, and you're like, wow, this is great. So I really enjoyed that part of it, but maybe the volume is going to shrink down. But I've enjoyed the experience, and there's not a better feeling than when after you do a long run on a Saturday, and you're tired, you're sore, but you've accomplished something.
I'm looking forward to a little break after the marathon, but one day I'd love to complete all 6 of the majors. So hopefully we can make that happen.
We've had the privilege of talking with folks from all lines of work, but none have bigger shoes to fill than this Open Here podcast guest. Next up, Tiff Phillips sits down with Flintsy, the clown.
All right, I'm with Flintsy the clown, aka Ian McDonald. Welcome. So happy to have you here today.
Thank you so much for having me.
So tell us about you. Like, where did you grow up?
So I grew up in Whitman. Pretty much most of my life I lived down there. Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like most people either know Whitman or it's just a place I've never heard of. I lived down actually in Plymouth for a little bit. I currently live in Rockland. I'm just local to the South Shore.
Oh, wonderful. So how did you get into clowning?
Kind of a couple different avenues. So my dad, when he was still around, he kind of always wanted to be a clown growing up. He wanted to go to clown school, but my grandmother wouldn't let him. My mom was a huge inspiration as well. Like she just jokes around all the time. So like that kind of aspect came really natural for me. And then my grandfather, he loved like clowns. He actually loved the American Tramp Clown, which is what I'm depicted as. So just kind of a little bit of all of that. And just, I like making people laugh to begin with. So it seems like a perfect choice for me.
It seems like a perfect choice for you. Yeah, definitely. You're not just any clown. You are a skilled clown. You're a fire breather. You do balloon animals. So how did you learn all these amazing skills? Did you have to go to school?
So one of those skills I had to go to school for, and the other I YouTubed. I'll take a guess which one I could YouTube and which one I went to school for.
Gosh, I'm hoping balloons that you YouTubed.
No.
Oh, gosh.
So no, I currently, I actually just did my first year of clown school at NCI, which is Northeast Clown Institute. It actually takes place right at the Plymouth waterfront every January. So I did my first schooling of that. That's kind of where they broke down the balloon animal skills and like how to actually twist the balloons and all of that. The fire breathing came really just curious on how to do it. YouTubed what professionals do. There's actually a performer that used to perform out of King Richard's Fair, Sess Carney. They had a lot of videos on it. So I'd kind of watch what they would do, listen to the safety tips they would give, as well as other circus performers, and did a lot of practice with water before putting any sort of fuel into my mouth to do that.
Smart.
But, yeah. But yeah, no, I did do a lot of due diligence and watched a lot of videos on it, but completely learned from YouTube.
I love that. Tell us about Flintsy. Does he have a backstory? What's the character like?
So Flintsy, this version of Flintsy that I'm dressed up as now, is an American tramp clown. It's actually, so the American Tramp and Hobo are the only American clowns. They were from the Great Depression era. The tramp clown very much is a lazy person. They're very cynical. They think the world owes us. So when I'm clowning as this version of Flintsy, a lot of dark humor, a lot of just kind of tongue-in-cheek jokes, really just, that kind of attitude with it. I do an auguste clown, which is typically where you'll see just the white muzzle, usually like a black or red outline, more exaggerated and like emoting eyes, red nose, of course. I do that. That's typically for birthdays and things of that nature. They're more fun. They're the butt of the joke. I don't do a white face clown. Unfortunately, because of my build, I look like John Wayne Gacy. And, we don't want that. So I've learned my lesson. I tried even at the clown school to see what I would look like, and even with professional help, it does not fix that. But no, I typically do the tramp look. It's a lot more fun. It's easier to get clothes for too, because it's more just oversized, ripped clothes, so you can just kind of thrift it and it doesn't have to cost an arm and a leg.
I love the history. I actually didn't know the history of the tramp clown, but now that you say that, it makes complete sense.
So the tramp clown, like the makeup way that we do it, is a little bit different. So like my skin complexion, every ounce of my face is covered in makeup right now. It's supposed to look dirty because of the work on the railroads and just the dust bowls going through. The beard being that like charcoaly colors from the train yards, and just like the white around the eyes and the mouth is because it would wipe the soot away.
Wow.
And the main difference between the tramp and the hobo is, like I said, the tramp is lazy. They're expecting the handout. They're kind of just not happy with everything. They call it the happy hobo, where they're just like, well, tomorrow's going to be a better day and let's pick ourselves up. And it's kind of that. And again, it's the only two American clowns, so it's really fun.
So a lot of people have like a deep-rooted fear of clowns. When you're out performing, how do you navigate that?
So I perform as this version, first of all, which even the nose is a flesh-colored nose. It's not that bright red bulbous nose. A lot more people can look at this and be like, that's a person. It's also one of the reasons, too, I like the Auguste look, is it doesn't give that uncanny valley effect. Where the traditional whiteface, there's no definition, because that's the point of it. You're supposed to look flawless. And it's also just kind of letting people know, like, hey, it's okay to laugh at me. And like, I will do just silly things. And if like I see someone is not a fan of clowns, I'm not going to go up to them. I'm not going to push someone into a comfort level that they don't want to be in. But yeah, just kind of gauge the audience, do what I can. And again, with this particular look, it's more human looking.
Flintsy's such a kind soul. I love that.
At times, definitely.
So how has being a clown benefited you personally? How have you grown from it? How do you feel when you put on the costume?
So that's a great question. I love putting on this costume. It's I don't get to do this in my everyday life. So like being able to just put this on and just be relaxed, and I get to be goofy. I get to be silly. Like, it's a lot of fun. I also really like it because it forces me to be uncomfortable.
Right.
Like, I've done events for the town of Rockland. I've done birthday parties. I've done all of these different things where I'm dressed up as a clown and everyone's staring at me. So it's kind of just becoming like, taking myself a little less serious, taking situations less seriously. I also have a 2-year-old son who loves the fact that I'm a clown, and I really want to like show him like, hey, you don't have to be like fit into this one box that everyone's doing. Like, you can have fun with the world and just kind of be unique.
Oh, it's such a good lesson. Do you consider clowning to be an art form?
I do. Any clown that you'll meet, whether they're a circus performer, even just like someone on social media where they don't do birthday parties, they don't do events, they don't do anything other than just make a video for social media, learning how to properly do the makeup to fit your face, learning how to get a laugh out of a person, that's art in itself. And then the more skills you gain, I do think it's an art form. I think it's something that to be a good clown, you have to work hard. You have to hone that skill. And it's just not something that, you could just pick up and be great at right away. You may be good, but you're never going to be great until you put the effort in. And that to me is what art is an expression that you put effort into to improve.
That's beautiful. Do you love what you do? Is this your passion?
Oh, it really is. This is so much fun for me. It's just getting to just do this and making people laugh. I get adults laughing just as much as I get kids laughing. And just, it's fun. It's just something that is a nice escape. And, I've done different events, and just each time is something new. Each time is something exciting. And whether it be a parent that I have like keeled over because of a dumb joke I'm doing while I'm doing my fire breathing routine, or I make a little kid's day when I give them like a balloon sword or a balloon dog, something like that. Like, it's so great. It's honestly so much fun.
Well, the world needs more joy, and I'm so happy that you're giving it. Thank you so much for being here today.
Of course, again, thank you so much for having me.
Make Me Brand New is a nonprofit retail space in the Kingston collection whose mission is to make it easier to reduce our waste while enhancing lives in the community. In addition to art workshops, they now offer Makerspace, all-inclusive open studio hours when crafters can explore a varied collection of art supplies and materials ready to be refurbished, repurposed, and recycled into unique new creations. On Fridays in May from 12 to 5 p.m., book studio time for just $10 and have access to art supplies like markers, pens, pencils, crayons, adhesives, stickers, stamps, and stencils. And their collection of materials saved from landfill and ripe for new life. To name a few things, like chairs and stools prepped for a makeover, glassware calling out to be painted on, unique scrapbooking materials, and an absolute treasure trove of household goods and upcycled materials, just a few of the types of items you can save from the trash heap and make your own treasure out of. Visit the Make Me Brand New Facebook page for the link to sign up.
On Wednesday, May 14th, author Leanne Zhang will be discussing the brilliant, dark, and diabolical thriller we've been waiting for, her debut book, Julie Chan is Dead, at a virtual event hosted by the Duxbury Free Library. The novel is about a twin who steps into the titillating and seemingly picture-perfect existence of her deceased sister's influence or lifestyle. She soon discovers the world of subterfuge and sinister forces that may have led to her sister's demise and now have put her in danger. This hour-long author chat starts at 7 p.m. and promises to be a wild ride as a book. Sign up now at the Duxbury Library's website.
On March 30th, Plymouth welcomed three-term United States Poet Laureate Robert Pinsky in a performance of Poem Jazz, featuring musicians Tim Ray, Stan Strickland, Catherine Bent, John Lockwood, and Ricardo Monzon. This event was sponsored by America's Hometown Laureates, Inc., with funding in part by the Town of Plymouth Promotions Fund, Koenig Chiropractic, Cape Auto, and media partner, The Local Scene. Next up is a new poem from this sold-out performance, all about the news.
I hope you can imagine what a thrill and a pleasure it is for me to work with such great musicians. I'm going to dare now do a poem that I wrote quite recently. We worked on a little bit this afternoon. We rehearsed for minutes. Old news. Old news. I try to live in this lonesome place, the present moment. I do try to live in the present moment, this lonesome place. But the truth is, I'm more at home in the past. I'm more at home in the past than that lonesome place, the present moment. I share a stack of magazines with somebody who reads the new ones off the top. The bottom salted with gilded ephemera, outworn fads, outdated ads. That's my meat. I read from the bottom. Then I study the Times online. I study the Times online to behold the face, the naked face of fascism. And its hand. I study the Times to study the naked face of fascism. And its hand. Its disregarding hand. study the times online to behold the naked face of fascism and its disregarding hand. And I keep on thinking about it as I retreat. I keep on thinking about it as I retreat to a homepage of my high school graduating class. On the homepage of my high school graduating class, the conversation floats down the tunnels of fortune to the 9th grade. In the 9th grade, Joe Cittadino expelled. Joe Cittadino expelled for setting a fire in the attic of the Chattel building. Joe Cittadino expelled for building a fire in the attic of the Chattel building. Joe died a while ago. Do people know that? Instead of hiding online the way I usually do, in silent anonymity, I decide to allow myself the homely pleasure, the homely civic pleasure of having something to say. So I post. Joe told me back then it wasn't him. It wasn't him. He took the blame to impress her girl. Joe took the blame to impress a girl whose brother, Mickey Flynn, set the fire. He took the blame to impress a girl. Her brother was Mickey Flynn, the one who really set the fire. And thank you, Junior Giordano. Thank you, Junior Giordano, for saying online, "You are right, Robert. It was Mickey Flynn." Some people might ask, what's the connection between the beginning of that poem with the rise of fascism and the end with Joe Cittadino? I think it may have something to do in my mind with telling the truth.
As the weather warms, it's time to start spending the twilight hours parked on a picnic blanket, listening to live music and eating tasty food served by local food trucks. The South Shore Food Truck Association Food Truck Thursday is back in action for this 4th year. There will be over 20 trucks making an appearance this season, and every week, a full bar offering cocktails and craft beers to accompany your delicious meals on wheels. Come by and enjoy at the Hilltop Athletic Association in Kingston every Thursday until September 25th from 4:30 to 8 p.m.
4th graders and up are invited to the Duxbury Free Library for a bubble tea taste test on Wednesday, May 14th. The popular and deliciously addictive bubble tea, also known as boba or pearl milk tea, is a Taiwanese beverage featuring a tea base, milk or fruit flavors, and chewy tapioca pearls. There will be 6 different bubble teas to try in search of the boba with the pearl thick taste. The hour-long Tea-licious Boba Bonanza starts at 2:30 p.m. in the children's program room. A note that whole milk will be used in the drinks. Visit the library's website to register.
The local scene was thrilled to bring you the Plymouth Area Chamber of Commerce's annual Dancing with Our Stars Live fundraising event, raising money for the Plymouth Area One Fund, all to benefit and support our local businesses. It was more than a great night had by all. Next up is competitor Gabi Guimaraes of Bravo Payroll, dancing with her Fred Astaire dance studio partner to Dance the Night by Dua Lipa.
All right, our next dancer is Gabi Guimaraes. She has music from today, and we're going to turn our attention to the screens to see why she's dancing with our Plymouth Stars.
Hi, I'm Gabi, full name Gabriela Guimaraes. I am with Bravo. Some of the main reasons I'm dancing this year, one, Scott did it, and I have to follow in his footsteps. So Scott Hokinson danced 2 years ago, but also what we're doing for our community. I think it's an awesome program that we're raising money for the Plymouth One Fund. Just hearing how it's being used the last few years and the plans moving forward, especially for our local restaurants, I think is huge. Selfishly, I'm also looking forward to learning how to dance. It's been on my list for years and years, and I keep telling everyone that your Bad Bunny album is fantastic, and I got to learn how to salsa, so I will be salsaing to Bad Bunny all summer long. But the whole team here at Fred Astaire has made it so easy to learn not only the choreography but feel comfortable with it. This is so much fun. I would do this every day for the rest of my life if I could.
All right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, dancing with her partner, Owen, Gabi Guimaraes Faria.
Yeah, she can dance. Go, Gabi. That was awesome. So I'm going to share with everyone what we nicknamed you backstage. Are you ready? She is Salsa Barbie. Yeah! That was incredible.
That was incredible. Gabi, how are you feeling right now, just after that number?
Out of breath.
Now, is it fun? I know you were so excited to take part.
Oh, this was such a blast. I was so excited, and I got salsa, and I'm so thrilled.
What was it like working with Owen?
Oh my God, such a blast. He is the salsa king, so I owe everything to him. Thank you so much.
And Owen, what was it like dancing with Gabi?
Also out of breath. No, it was fantastic. Gabi has such amazing rhythm, and it let us do such amazing steps and move us forward, and we did great.
So that was a really phenomenal performance. I'm very impressed with your salsa. Thank you for taking on this task. I would love to know what the judges think. So who should we start with this time, Rob?
We can start with Stephen Coe. We'll start there.
So if anybody knows a nice salsa, it's me. I'll go 10.
A 10 from Stephen Coe. Wow. Oh, we're up.
Thank you, Chef.
There you go. A 10 from Chef Stephen. All right, Jackson Blue, we'll go to you.
You got to trust the chef when he's talking about salsa, so I'll go with a 10 as well.
Another 10.
Thank you.
Wow, 2 10s to start. All right, Michelle, we'll go to you next. Michelle Kopang.
Gabi, you would have made Bravo and Scott proud.
I know. I wish Scott was here.
I know. Salsa is a party dance, and you would have gotten each and every one of us up on the floor to do that dance with you. So I am going to give you a 9.
A 9. All right, 2 10s and a 9 so far for you, Gabi. It comes down to our fourth judge, Beth Foster.
Great chemistry between you two. Love the shimmy move. Give me a side of chips because that salsa was amazing. It's a 9.
Another 9, 2 10s and 2 9s, Gabi.
Oh, thank you so much.
All right, and now.
Pretty amazing scores. Let's see how well you do when you run around and get the cash. So grab your buckets.
Gotta give your bucket.
When the music ends, you come back up and give your money to the judges' table. Yeah? All right.
Let's fill some buckets.
On your mark, get set, go! Just a few seconds left.
All right, Gabi and Owen, they're getting some cash for those buckets. And we
still have time. Up, and now you're done.
Oh.
Give it up for Gabi and Owen.
Thank you so much. Wow. Great job.
I'm dying to see what kind of pictures Owen actually got on that disposable camera. From his perspective. That was a real camera.
That was a real camera?
Yeah, it was.
I thought it was just a prop. Didn't you guys think it was a prop? I thought it was a prop camera.
It was a disposable. When's the last time you saw a disposable camera, Ron?
Yeah, not for a long time. I love Polaroid.
Don't miss musician and singer Jen Kearney's electrifying amalgamation of soul, R&B, funk, rock, and Latin, performed on the main stage at the Spire Center for Performing Arts on Thursday, May 15th. Jen has shared the stage with Los Lobos, Daryl Hall, Mavis Staples, John Mayall and the Blues Breakers, the Derek Trucks Band, and so many more. Renowned music journalist Steve Morse described her style as a refreshing new spin on funk music, showing flashes of funk's horn-drenched heyday in the 70s, but also modernizing it with thoughtfully conceived lyrics. Simply mesmerizing. Tickets can be purchased through the Spire Center's website.
Next up is poet Mark Walsh in the reading of his original work.
Hello. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Kat, for hosting. I'm one of the ekphrastically challenged poets today. I was a jet-lagged hot mess last week, so I wasn't going anywhere because I would just drop off into sleep. So. But I think I'll honor that jet-laggedness, and I'll do 2 poems here about traveling or places I've been to. 2 years ago, I was fortunate enough to take a trip to Peru and the Galapagos Islands, and I've written 2 poems about Peru, and I'd like to read both of those today. So the first one is called How Lima Was. Perfume city of clear divides, life moving around, heavy traffic, El Malecon hugging that sharp cliff, a paradise of mist and vistas. Here the bronze poet looks west, over the ocean, his mind full of foxes at midnight. Under his nose, leashed bulldogs pull owners to El Parque del Amor. In color-mad, artful Barranco, the Virgin Mary stands as a mountain, feminine, deep-rooted rock, while her son's feet remain nailed fast to ornamental wood. In profitable Miraflores, the rich live in bamboo mansions, dodging earthquakes that stir the poor like flour in a bowl. We visit one of these, old, aromatic, out of time. The matron rents rooms for weddings, entertains tourists for lunch. She was perfumed, too, drinking little, her shoes hovering above shaky ground. Thank you. Thank you. And the next poem is about our trip up to Machu Picchu. And it's really about, I got up there And I looked around and I said, how in God's name am I going to describe this at all? So it's a poem about not being able to describe Machu Picchu, but I will say everything that happens in this poem is true and did happen. Lines from Machu Picchu. You need to risk being bowled over by llamas descending stone stairs to feel the strangeness of what surrounds you. Heights of searing depth, dancing stones, even-angled terraces, measured courtyards, solstice alignments redrawn atop mountain trails, things not purchased. Direction spins with ease. You can't shake the certainty that if you blew away the clouds and folded back the mountains, you would see the sun rising over the Pacific. All experience soaked up that cloud-drenched morning evaporates in the burn-off. It's laughable to think any inch of this landscape will sink to blood knowledge. Who dares to experience? It's as if, look, along the precipice walks a young mother nursing her infant son. Up here, they do it every day. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. You didn't say why you were a hot mess. You had just returned from Japan, I believe. So that's a good reason for jet lag. But you showed up, and that's what counts. That's what counts.
Pembroke Senior Services is offering a transformative workshop led by shaman and master intuitive coach Elaine Reed Cole. The path to calming your anxiety, pulling weeds from your inner garden, will dig down to the roots of what is causing your anxiety by exploring unconscious thoughts that may have manifested. Through a guided process, you'll focus on how to prune and weed out those unhelpful thoughts and bring a better understanding of your anxiety's triggers and origins. The workshop will take place on May 12th and 19th at 5:30 p.m. As Voltaire wrote, we must cultivate our garden. To sign up and tend to yours, call 781-294-8220.
If yours is an LGBTQ plus family of kite lovers, or a solo flyer looking to catch a breeze and spend a beautiful day in the park alongside your community, the sky's the limit on Saturday, May 17th. From 10 to 11:30 a.m., come fly kites with Plymouth Pride at the Nelson Memorial Park. Bring the kite you want to fly. There'll also be a handful of kids' kites available to share. No reservations are required for the free gathering. Just drop by and look for the Pride group in the beach area. And if the wind doesn't want to cooperate with dreams of flight, no worries. The group will wing it and turn the morning into a rainbow playground meeting. This gathering is family-oriented and for kite aficionados of all ages. Kids must be accompanied by an adult.
Next up is poet Jen Pip in a reading of her original ekphrastic poem.
Hello, everybody. So I'm Jen Pip, and the piece of work that I chose was Osprey Moon Silhouette, and it's by Constance, Connie Mellahorse, and she is here. This has been a summer of many symbols, and two of them for me were definitely the birds, especially the osprey and the moon. So when I saw this piece right away, it resonated with something quite deep. Although there's so much beautiful art, and just the power of nature to heal, the power of art to heal, the power of community. I just am so grateful to this community that's held together, and that everyone's given a voice and a chance to participate. And part of participating and healing one another is listening. So this audience is so beautiful. Thank you all for being here and listening. So this, funnily enough, is called Social Media Inquiry, Where Have You Been? I know, right? It's kind of the other side, but maybe it's part of this all too. So Social Media Inquiry, Where Have You Been? I was tucked under the wing of an osprey, learning the language of the night, plucking narrow advice of strangers from angry flesh, keeping time with the algorithm of the sky. Allowing the ocean in my eye to well up, warm and heavy, roundness tipping, then spilling, releasing toxic youth. Inventing tremors of regret to pulse into the electric earth, remembering the illusion of time can't slice when allowed to bend. If moments fell linear, what came before was escaping the tangled remains of my body, gripping into the hardened darkness, the relentless liquid of my spirit spilling into higher ground. Uncertainty hovering as I evaporated into strange walls acquired for this very purpose. I could tell you what came even before, if before still mattered, but it doesn't. Magnetic migrations have erased enough to know. I can tell you what comes after because now I am certain. The creatures of the night are etched into my edges, beckoning the sun to spill life everywhere, holding space like blossoms, fragrant with music, no longer afraid.
Classic cars, cool vendors, and a parking lot full of really good eats. It's a food truck and artisan festival at the Kingston Collection on Saturday, May 17th. From 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., the former Macy's lot will be a galleria of unique goods from local artisans and tantalizing tasty treats from a variety of local food trucks. There'll be a classic car show for you to peruse, hosted by the All Wheels Association, as well as lively entertainment, and proceeds for the event will support Habitat for Humanity of Greater Plymouth, an organization that helps build both homes and hope in our neighborhoods. Visit the Kingston Collection Facebook page to get updates on the official lineup of food trucks, vendors, and entertainment.
And that, my friends, wraps this episode of The Local Scene This Week. Thank you for watching.
And if you live or work in Plymouth, Pembroke, Kingston, or Duxbury and would like to have your own show or podcast, you should. Email community@thelocalscene.media to find out about our free production services and training for community members.
And if you have a story or event you'd like people to know about, email us at story@thelocalscene.media.
And we thank our patrons, Tiny & Sons, Quintal Brothers, and Squinny's Pizza for supporting our mission of community in action through media.
We'll be back next week with more of what's good and good to know in our area. Until then, we'll see you on The Local Scene. For more of what's good and good to know on the South Shore of Massachusetts, hit the subscribe button. And thank you for watching.